When we think about being loving, being grateful is like top of that list. And so if we're ever wondering, okay, how can I be the most loving I can be right now? Be grateful.
Gratitude can be almost like an ego diffuser. You know, whether it's under ego, which is very possible, we can be triggered and be under ego, not feel worthy enough, that lack of self-confidence and feel, actually pull in, or we can be over ego and where it's almost coming off like attack or inflate or just attempting to cover up the insecurity or something like that, which again, we all experience both of those at some levels, all throughout our lives. But yeah, gratitude, we often hear as gratitude as a practice, but we don't hear it as to, I would say to this level, this is like an extension of gratitude. And I love to see that, because you're right. I mean, it absolutely can be a great diffuser for ego, and it can pull us back, I guess, because we do experience ego more in our minds, right? Mm-hmm. When in our hearts, those kind of things start to fall away. We start to recognize that the insecurities and things that we feel are things that we've created, thoughts that we've as we're talking about the negative brain bias, right? I mean, that's when we're having 95% of our thoughts being negative every day, of course, we're going to create insecurities just through our own thinking. That can happen. But a gratitude can be a great practice to pull us out of that, and then also pull us out of our ego when we start to get too much into the ego and out of balance. So I really like that. I think that's a great one that I feel like I could be a little bit more intentional in balancing that gratitude in that way. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this with some other guests before, and that's why I'm so grateful for all the guests that we've had on here. We've had so many amazing hearts and amazing souls that we've talked to. And often we talk about how gratitude is like an opener or a gateway directly to love. So when we talk about what would love do, one of the first things love always does is give gratitude. Give gratitude for everything, right? When we think about being loving, being grateful is like top of that list. And so if we're ever wondering, okay, how can I be the most loving I can be right now? Be grateful. And then that brings you right there. Generally, the most loving thing we can do is tell someone, I'm grateful for all that you do.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to have you in my life. I'm grateful to see your face every day. Of course, that's going to just like immediately bring feelings of connection and love up for both of you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's a romantic partnership, a parent-child partnership, whatever the connection is, business partnership.
Sure.
If you say to somebody, I am grateful that you are part of my life journey, immediately there's a connection of love at some level there.
Right. Yeah, what would love do? Gratitude. It's a great first step. It's something that we can access instantaneously too, which is pretty amazing. I also feel like it's a really great tool to pull us out of lack. And we've talked about that a little bit. But it's hard in a world that constantly feels like it's attacking you or telling you to change or telling you to be different or just telling you how to be and what to do. Yeah. It's easy to fall into lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, lack of motivation, lack of understanding. It's confusing. With so many different things just flying around, whether it's people, organizations, countries, governments, any of it. There's just so much disconnect and miscommunication that it's hard to understand what's actually happening. I feel like, we've had those conversations, and as we've talked to many people, one of the biggest things right now, just in this world, is like, well, what's the truth?
Yeah.
Right? And so I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm pulling it back in the fact that when we don't have what seems like kind of like a North Star or a truth, gratitude is a great focus point to help us in that way. Because when we do become very thankful and we are aware of what we already have and the many gifts that we get every single day, it turns the mundane into magnificent and remarkable. And we start to recognize the miracles that are happening every day. And then it's just that little reminder. It pulls us out of lack and into abundance. And again, abundance is where love lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just that little reconnect into the heart, that movement into abundance, that movement into just being like, when I'm thankful, I feel safe. When I'm thankful, I feel happy. When I'm thankful, I feel connected. When it's so easy to be disconnected, sad, and feeling alone.
Yeah.
Gratitude is like that energy that can just kind of wrap you up and just be that warm, beautiful light. Just reminds me of it can remind all of us of like the preciousness and the, if you will, the divine in all things.